All right, what's up, gamers? It's your boy, the Show Bullet 8, back again with another video for you today. And this is something that we've been talking about on stream. I've gotten questions about different videos have been sent to me about this specific individual. And so today we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So Andrew Tate has become a point of topic online seemingly out of nowhere. You know, this guy has tons of people trying to be his detractors and just throwing hate at him at every angle that they possibly can. But I'm going to tell you why he exists and why at this point it's probably necessary. In this modern era, we have constant voices coming in through virtual interactions, and people are receiving millions of thoughts and ideologies, causing conflict and static in their ideals. For easily the last decade, there's been ongoing change, and the idea has become that being a man is nothing more than toxic, and masculinity equates to misogyny. The very idea that a man would speak his opinions or wants when it comes to a woman has become tantamount to committing a hate crime. And it's usually followed with chants of cancel him. However, when a woman openly shouts misandric ideas like men ain't shit, they're nothing but wallets, I hate men, and the likes, it's easily looked over, and typically met with cheers of go sis, and no one bats an eye about it. This either means you believe it or their ideas really don't matter and you're blindly ignoring it because their voices or opinions are worthless as women. I mean, hey, we're supposed to treat them equally as men, right? So where are the shouts of cancel her? To make matters worse, soft ass men who have no idea of the realities of the outside world and what it means to recognize bullshit have grown ever popular online and spew the same to younger generations for the benefit of their own pockets. Some of them would say that the world has changed and men of that type aren't even needed anymore because we don't live in a hostile environment and anyone can do anything. But of course, only in North America, only in North America and the US primarily can such an easy stance be taken while the rest of the world, still holds the same innate ideals and tendencies towards masculinity, masculine roles, alongside their views on war, politics, and of course expansion. And just like any great anime, comic, or video game, in comes the anti-hero. Now, this time it's in the form of what's known as the red pill community. Some of the characters here were the likes of the late Kevin Samuels, James Peterson, and the one individual we're focusing on today, Andrew Tate. Like a demon out of hell, this dude is raising through the ranks of the social media platforms, and just the greatest of irony of it all being that the very people who scream nay at him and his ideas and attempt to say his life is a sham, those are the very ones that are giving him the fuel to burn their asses in his tracks. Now, I'll be the first to say I don't agree with everything anyone says, and I have more experience in life in all aspects and simply find the rhetoric somewhat amusing. But at the same time, I also understand that he's simply speaking his opinion from his life's experiences, as well as sharing the same ideas with young men that women would actually say are requirements they have of men. And it's the same women who, even at this point in time in their younger years, or some of them in their older years, who are out there doing thought bot situations, or saying, hey, maybe it's more of a thing, well, my money's more important to me, so on and so forth. I'm independent. I can do on my own. Well, that tune usually changes. And he's essentially giving young men and other men the tools to understand that whether you believe it or not, women do test you. Some play games. but the expectations and what they want usually ends up the same. But even if you don't know anything about this guy, I'll tell you this: like him and his ideas or hate them, this is one entertaining motherfucker. Of course, when you start making waves in the pool of the simple-minded, they have to find ways to discredit or villainize you through personal attacks. So first, some of them say his kickboxing career is a sham. It's all fake. Well, I can tell you right now, the dude's like 75 wins, 9 losses, and it's actually pretty easy to find, especially considering there's a fucking highlight reel of him all over the internet. YouTube, people, YouTube. They said he rents his cars. He shut them down with that real quick. Each time they go to discredit this guy's lifestyle, he takes it and turns it into a joke, shows proof, then volleys it back at them like a fucking grenade waiting for it to blow up in their faces. So what next? How about his business ventures? One of the most attacked ideas is that his Hustlers University is nothing more than a way of taking advantage of young, impressionable men. Which, this sounds familiar to me, but in a different way. But anyway, some of these same individuals who say this also say it's worthless. Now, mind you, I've seen people pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for motivational speakers and classes, which only actually work typically for 1 to 2% of their student cases. Of course, people like Ludwig and Hasanabi, who say his program, which is $50 a month, is nothing more than him preying on young men. But they also don't speak about the Twitch hot tub streamers and OnlyFans models preying on young boys and men and their loneliness. Don't understand? Let me help you. You're nothing but prey when it comes to the OnlyFans and the Twitch hot tub scene, as you're paying them to prey on your loneliness. To make it worse, the same people paying for these subscriptions aren't receiving the promised end product. That being the risque photos or videos, which those are actually locked behind paywalls of $100 or more, and most certainly not the streamer or performer's time. Yeah, that's right. When you're paying these girls on Twitch and follow them to their OnlyFans, their Chatterbait, or other sites, you're certainly not receiving their personal time as promised when you pay them in excess to DM them directly or email them directly. No, you just talk to some 60-year-old dude with a long ass ponytail sitting in the basement somewhere that's modding chat for them and answering their DMs in hopes of the same thing as you, to get a peek at the pussy. Hell, you're probably talking to their simp of a boyfriend, or better yet, some dude who she works for, who manages her account and she pays him. As a grown-ass man, there's no way I could feel any semblance of pride in myself while impersonating a female talking dirty to another nigga. Nah, they tripping. Essentially, these people are saying it's fine to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars while wallowing in self-pity, gaining nothing, and in fact just being played into the idea that this e-girl would give them any action versus taking the time to possibly, learn how to better themselves, grow as a man, and gain some semblance of confidence, including the confidence to actually speak to a woman in the real world, not just digitally. So to the Ludwigs, the XQCs, the Hasanabis, the Easthans, or H3H3s, whatever you want to be called, of the internet, you don't have to like it, but it doesn't make him or others with these views and ideas wrong. But yours most definitely are not right. And by the way, you're the ones who are pushing his growth. See, Andrew Tate may have been on the internet for a while, but it wasn't until they started pushing and, saying all this crazy shit where it was like, hey, you know what, this guy ain't shit, he's not this, just because he presented an idea. An idea that on some level is absolutely necessary, considering the fact that women complain about how soft men have become, while yet men are complaining just how overbearing, how masculine more and more women are attempting to act. Because the fact of the matter is, it is an act. And whether you like it or not, that's a truth. Just the same as women believe a man is supposed to have specific roles, no matter how many of them want to say that men are unnecessary, how many women actually want to take the trash out in their home? They don't. Typically, that's the man's job. How many women want to be trash men, trash women? Not very many. How many women want to work in a fucking sewer? Not very many, if any. But just the same as a woman can say that the man is supposed to have very specific roles, men should be able to say, hey, well, it's my idea that a woman should have these specific roles. It's like somehow we've all become oblivious to the fact that men and women date differently. Men and women look for different things in the people that they're going to be in a relationship. Somehow these individuals who are kind of trying to be the detractors to Andrew Tate are the very ones with this over the top idea that everything is equal. Nothing is equal. Nothing never ever will be equal. In fact, it's also been proven by asking women. But the more that you put out these slanderous remarks and the more that you report on this guy, beyond just letting him go ahead and try and promote himself through TikTok or whatever the case may be, you're actually bringing him on to these other platforms, such as Twitch and YouTube, and giving him even more of a leg to stand on, giving him more fuel to burn you with, giving him a larger audience to reach. The reason Andrew Tate exists is because of you. It's not wrong to say that being a man requires certain innate values, a form of masculinity, and to be able to better himself and understand the mindsets of the women that he's dealing with, including vetting them before potentially giving up his entire life for said individual. All right, everybody, hey, you know what to do. Go ahead, like the video, most definitely comment, and for sure, subscribe. I will see you all later. I'm the Show Bullet 8. At this point, it's time for me to go ahead and go, so I'm out.